Hi, I'm Michael with Lighthouse Communications. If you're watching this video, you most likely have planned out most of your presentation and now you're beginning to wonder, how do I end this thing? Let's talk about how to effectively conclude your presentation. I've got a 5-step formula that you can use in presentations for school and work. And when you use this formula, not only are you going to be clear and concise, you're also going to get audience participation with no awkward silences. Step 1, prime the audience for Q&A. Any questions? No? Well, that concludes my presentation. I see this time and time again. Don't do this in your upcoming presentation. Don't do a hit and run conclusion. Your audience is going to be thinking, is that the end of the presentation? Instead, give your audience a heads up that you're about to ask them questions so that they know that you truly want to have a great Q&A session. Here's what you can say. In a moment, we have time for 2 to 3 questions, but first, let me give a quick summary of what we covered today. And with that, I've shown you the succinct wrap-up. Now, this is something that a lot of my clients ask me. They're like, do I really need to do a wrap-up and cover the points that I just talked about again? And I say, yes, because the information that you're providing is brand new to your audience. When you do this summary, this brief summary, then they finally see how all of the puzzle pieces fit together. Remember, no new information in your brief summary. Step 3, kick off Q&A with a commonly asked question. One of my favorite ways to jumpstart a Q&A session is to ask myself a question that everybody has at the top of their mind, and then answer that question myself. You can say something like this. Let me answer a question I bet all of you are thinking. When can we start this project? Well, earlier today, I talked with my team, and we can start this project as early as next week. What other questions do you have? Trust me, if you do this in combination with step 1, you're going to have people raising their hand, asking you interesting questions, and no awkward silences. Step 4, facilitate the Q&A. Facilitating a Q&A discussion, that's a huge topic, and we don't have time to cover it today. If that is a topic that you're interested in, go down into the comment section of this video and let us know. Here's what I can say. When you answer questions, make sure you do so concisely. Don't talk for 5 minutes. It's going to bore your audience. Make your answers concise, and to do that, narrow down your answers to one idea. You can say something like, yes, I have a lot of thoughts about that. Here is one idea that I think might interest you. Step 5, share a final thought. This is the final step. You are almost finished and you have your audience's attention for one more moment. Don't waste it. Here's what to do. You can echo an idea that you brought up in the introduction of your presentation, or you can even share a quote that really represents the essence of your presentation. Find a final thought that your audience can mull over, think about as they leave your presentation, and then they keep on thinking about it long after the presentation has ended. Of course, you can also say thank you. Make sure that you pause and wait for that audience applause before you leave the stage if you're doing a big keynote presentation. Right now, I'm going to conclude this video presentation. Ready? If you have any questions or comments about how to effectively end a presentation, please go down into the comments section and ask me. But before you do, please listen to this summary of what we covered today. I gave you a 5-step formula for how to end a presentation. Step 1, prime your audience for Q&A. Give them a heads up that you're going to give them an opportunity to ask you a question. Don't do a hit and run conclusion. Step 2, briefly, succinctly summarize your talking points so that everybody sees that big picture. Step 3, jumpstart the Q&A by asking yourself a question and then answering it. Step 4, Facilitate the Q&A. Remember to be brief when you answer the questions. And step 5, provide your audience with a final thought. Thank you for watching. A quote by Frank Herbert, the author of Dune. There is no real ending. There's just the place where you stop.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, like, leave comments and questions below. And if you or your team are interested in a training, please email info@lhctraining.com.